Happy Nerdy New Year, nerds.
Welcome to Season 3. We can't wait to kick this year off with y'all.
And we thank you all so much for being along for all our nerdy antics. In the coming year, we're hoping to do a lot more fun stuff.
We're going to be adding more live streams, creating more YouTube content, and getting into all sorts of nerdy fun.
That's right. And that being said, we now want to introduce you to the first episode of Season 3.
Now, this episode was originally recorded as a bonus episode, but we wanted to share it with you now, even though it was recorded last year.
Yeah. So we really hope you enjoy this awesome interview with Colin. Also, check out the new intro and outro. We have a new outro song by Harlequin Soul, Secret Apex. Check that out. And
without further ado, Season 3, Episode 1, Headaches in Hollywood begin right now.
There you go. Right now. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
From the Roundhay Garden Scene in 1888 to today's blockbuster hits, the film industry has gone through so many changes and evolutions that it is almost unrecognizable from how it used to be. The industry known as Hollywood is an ever-expanding enterprise that has given us so much entertainment over the years and is on track to continue to do so, even with the hell of a year that was 2020 affecting it. But what does it really take to work in this industry? Well, we sure don't know, so we reached out to someone that does. On this very special bonus episode of The Bear and the Beard, we sit down with not only our friend Orey from Geeky Vengeance, but Collin K Bass, and try to peek behind the scenes. We hope to get a better understanding of not only the industry, but also hope to learn more about our guests' works as well. So join us and enjoy. Headaches of Hollywood starts right after this.
This is The Bear and the Beard Podcast Season 3.
Hello there.
Your hosts are just two nerdy guys, talking nerdy things.
That's quite nerdy.
This Nerdtastic Duo sits down every episode, sometimes with friends and guests, to explore a new topic related to nerd or pop culture.
Oh yeah!
They may disagree or argue sometimes, and you may not always agree with them.
I beg your pardon.
But please remember, this show is mostly their opinion with some research and facts added in along the way.
To be fair. To be fair.
The overall goal is to spread knowledge and love throughout the fandoms and to have fun doing it. Welcome to the conversation. Let's get nerdy with it.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode, a very special episode of the Bear and the Beard podcast. I'm Robert the Bear. I'm joined, as always, by my majestically bearded, faithful co-host, Bearded Brian Guy, the Beard. How you doing today, sir? Brocius Mayo.
Feeling nerdy, Mayo Brocius, my dude.
Well, that is great. I'm glad you're feeling nerdy. I've been looking forward to this episode, I think, a little bit more than you have, so I get to say it this time. We're also joined by a familiar face, Orey from the voice of Geeky Vengeance. Hello, how are you?
I am here, and I'm super nerding out because, like Power Rangers and Hollywood and all the things. Yay! So I'm excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me again.
No problem. Anytime. And our very special guest in this episode is Mr. Collin K Bass. You may have seen him on Facebook doing the Facebook Live promotions for X-Cosser, but he's also been in Shattered Past, Power Rangers. He's featured as some other nerdy heroes and villains that we've gotten to know and love that we've talked about on the show. And that's what we're here to talk about today with Mr. Collin. This is pretty much an interview. So, because when I reached out and I was like, we could talk about like cosplay and stuff, he was like, I really don't want to do that. Like anything but that, because I already do that every day.
I wouldn't have anything to say.
So, and I was like,
I've been in
fine.
one cosplay ever.
Yeah, one cosplay ever.
We're changing that. It's being changed. We got you.
We'll see.
But
if you can find
Colin,
stuff my size.
Yeah, that's the problem with is finding stuff.
Thanos, we can paint you purple. We'll be fine.
But Colin, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Definitely good to see you.
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm really excited to talk to you guys and happy to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, definitely, definitely. So, as I said, we were looking at your IMDb page when we were getting ready for this whole little uh, excursion into the unknown that is the Hollywood movie industry, and we saw that you've played Eobard as the Reverse Flash. We've seen you in something called Arrow Unlimited.
Yeah,
Is that
was
right?
just one episode, but yeah, we did a gender bent DC universe. Every gender was swapped.
Mhm.
I only did one episode, and it was a fun experience, but it didn't go anywhere.
So now, when you work on those projects like the DC stuff, like Reverse Flash, Arrow, do you work with Warner Brothers, or is that your own kind of project that you're involved in?
When it comes to fan films, I like to say that they create opportunities. So our Reverse Flash show was not at all connected to CW or anything, but because we had that fan base, we were hired by the CW to do a Superman and Lois promo video. So if you take chances on these fan films, just like passion projects where it's not paying the bills, they lead to these awesome opportunities. So we got on the CW's radar to do this big Superman special because of our work on the fan films. So no, we don't work with WB, but we have worked with them because of the fan films. So it's always exciting when you do something because you want to do it, and then that leads to a legit gig.
Right. That's very cool. So now, by us talking to you today, we might get hired on to do interviews for the CW in the future.
Hopefully,
Wait, hold on.
I'd
If
be
it
a little
worked like
nervous
that,
for that.
hold on. If it worked like that, everybody I know in the cosplay industry who has been featured on TV, I am now famous.
Yeah.
How this works.
That I guess so. So those are just a few of the projects. But Colin, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do for these projects and stuff.
Yeah, so I work for Nerdbot. It's a media company that does conventions, after parties, filming, everything like that. I kind of coined myself the idea guy. I kind of just throw out ideas. A lot of the series and stuff are my ideas, and then I write them and I act in them, and I do a lot of the things on the production side. Lots of scheduling and stuff, but that's the boring stuff. Mostly I suit up and kick ass, right?
There you go.
Writing, and then I'm also I work through Nerdbot with a lot of the conventions, and I host different stuff, and at these after parties I'll hop on the mic, just a little bit of everything really. But my favorite is writing and acting, and that's like where I'm able to do what I love, but then also Nerdbot, it's still a business, so they use me and my personality or my reach or however you want to say it for all the other stuff that brings in the money. So I do a little bit of everything.
You're the face.
Yeah, I mean, there's a common joke that people think I own Nerdbot. I don't. I'm just in everything.
How long have you been in the industry?
It's an interesting question because when I was in college, I thought that I was going to be like a teacher and like a football coach. And then I started working for this website, started writing for this website. And I was like, I don't care what I do. I just got to work in this industry. I got to work in the nerdy comic book world because I love it so much. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. So that was in 2011. And then when I really started getting into film, I'd say when people started caring about what we did was Reverse Flash Origins. And that was 2017. So there's a big gap of me making content that no one cared about, and I just never gave up. And then Reverse Flash came out and more opportunities and gigs, and then I was like, I love this. I really want to do this. And so I had a job in Star Wars product development, and that allowed me to model, still be nerdy. It was a lot of like licensing and stuff, but then they started to hire us to do videos. And I was still filming on the side with Nerdbot, and then I was kind of just juggling that, and then I would just take any random acting gigs that I could do. Then COVID hit, and then I decided to just go full Nerdbot, and so now I've been taking more acting gigs, and Nerdbot's been providing me a lot of gigs, and then I just did my first ever specialty role in a movie for Jordan Peele's new movie, so that was really cool. Really? Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I can't talk about it too much, but I went there.
But
just
you got to work with Jordan Peele, who is like I had a whole
conversation with him. It was so cool, and I'm such a fan. And I don't usually get starstruck, but I was just like, I love everything you do. I was so starstruck.
Okay, what is your favorite Jordan Peele movie?
I was a big fan of his because of Key and Peele, so I'm more on the comedy side.
Same.
But I loved Get Out, but my attachment to Jordan is through Key and Peele. I can't tell you how many times I watched that entire series all the way through.
I'm a huge horror fan, so
cool.
I love all of his horror stuff. He is like he is the Stephen King of horror movies.
He's
so
the
fantastic.
millennial Stephen King.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes. he knows how to just like creep up on you, and it's like, okay. Anyway, sorry. Okay.
No worries.
I think it's safe to assume that you are a nerd, right?
Oh, born and raised,
Yeah.
man. My mom always says I came out of the womb excited about superheroes.
My question is less of a starstruck moment, more of like, what's your best nerd moment? Like, as a nerd, the most satisfying moment being in the industry you're in now.
My first wire stunt is something that I love talking about. Elvin is the producer of Nerdbot. He's like my boss. And I kind of go up to him and I go, dude, I have this dream of doing this. For an example, I've always wanted to zip line into a scene as Green Arrow. So I wrote it in and he bought a zip line and character select. I zip line in as Green Arrow like this and I land and it's just a dream come true.
Woo! Superhero landing. Yeah, that's really hard on your knees.
Wait, were you a poser? Did you pose?
It's a fighting pose. You're a total poser.
Not a poser.
No, I zipped in and I rose up all cool like this and I tapped my communicator and I was like,
that's so cool.
For episode 3, I was Judge Dredd. And I was like, Elvin, I have this dream of doing a wire stunt. Please let me do it. And so he hired a whole stunt team and they told me on set, they were like, we don't really need to do it. You can just trampoline into the side of the truck and then lay on the thing. And I was just like, okay. And Elvin's like, guys, you got to give him a wire stunt. Just spin him in the air or something. He's going to cry if you don't. I wasn't going to cry, but I was really sad. Good. So they rigged me up this thing.
Colin, you can be honest. You were going to cry. It's okay. This is a safe spot.
Okay.
You're safe with us.
Yeah, I just was like, okay. And I had my Judge Dredd mask on, hiding my tears.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't.
No, I'm just kidding. And then, so they rigged me up, and I'm in this full armored Judge Dredd thing with the wiring connected to me. And it felt like I played football in high school, so it felt like Friday Night Lights. Like all the lights are on me, I'm breathing heavy, and then I'm running from the Mandalorian. He throws a bomb at me, and then I'm supposed to jump off his trampoline. They spin me midair, and I slam into the truck, then down. And when it comes to stunts, you pay per jump. So I only had 3 jumps to get it right. And one of them was a practice. So it was really, really just intense. And I had this moment where I'm just like fully suited up. I have the wiring and I look around and I look at myself and I'm like, this is so, I'm not going to cuss, but effing cool. I'm legit on a set right now, rigged up with wires. I'm armored. I'm Judge Dredd fighting Mandalorian. And I just got like choked up. And then I took a big breath, ran, jumped off the trampoline, got spun around, and there's like this great picture where it has me like getting ready for it, and then I land and I'm like on the ground like this, and then they're like, and cut, and I'm just smiling. I'm like, yeah,
I did it, guys! I did it.
So I did my first wire stunt was just so I nerded out over the fact that like what is my life, like that is so cool that I get to do this. And then I looked around and everyone's like, yeah, and I got up and I was like, then I did 2 more jumps. It was really great.
I mean, you've gotten into the same character costumes as famous actors like Steve Amell and Carl Urban, and Sylvester Stallone, who played the original Judge Dredd. So that's just really cool.
Yeah, I have a rule about collectibles. I'm sure you guys can relate, because if we just got everything we liked, our house would be full of toys, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We have kids. We can do whatever we want.
I only get something for that character that I've professionally played. So like in my head, it's like, all right, I played this character. I got a paycheck. I deserve 1 memento for this character, whether it's an action figure, a poster, or morpher, or whatever. And my theory is that when I'm an old man, and if I have kids or nephews or whatever, I'm going to play my videos and I'm going to pass down my collectibles to my kids or whoever I am. So I just like, yeah, that's Grandpappy Bass right there, and here's my collectibles. So it keeps things like subtle Because I'm sure my girlfriend doesn't want a room full of toys, but if I have collectibles for each character that I care about and have played and made money off of, it makes me feel better about having toys as a 30-year-old.
That reminds me so much of Wally West in Young Justice. He has the trophy room. He has to collect a trophy, a souvenir from each mission.
Cool. Souvenir. Souvenir.
Souvenir.
That's really cool.
I'm gonna start calling them that. Yeah.
Hold on. You're technically serial killing every superhero that you've ever played. So now. I'm sorry. I'm going.
Killing it. You're killing it in the role.
Leave it to Orey to Octoberfy this.
I mean, I am the creepy one here, okay?
So I'm guessing this will answer this question and tell me if I'm wrong. So you getting into the industry with NerdBot was the fact that you were a nerdy kid, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right. So that was the question. Like, what inspired you to get into the industry? You pretty much already answered that. What inspired works is the nerdiness and the being able to write and stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah, I kept it secret a lot of my life. I cared way too much about what people think. So I always try to voice to creatives, just get out there and do it. And, things will work out if you really care about it. But I wasted so much time trying to be the jock homecoming douche, but then once I got a taste, I went to my first Comic-Con in 2007 and I was like, this is what I love. I love this stuff. Why am I hiding it? And then when I started working for the website, I started going to more cons and I got a taste of like really embracing what I love. And then I was like, why have I been fighting this side of me my whole life? Like, this is what I want to do. Forget what people think. I'm going to keep doing it. And there's so many years when no one understood why I was dressing up and filming, for like 10,000 views. And then it led to my job and it led to all these cool opportunities. And it's just like, if you really love something or are passionate about it, do it. And everything else will line up. That's my advice to upcoming filmmakers, especially.
Stan Lee said words very similar to that. Like, don't let anyone knock something like that down. And there's definitely been a change. And I think it was before I was old enough to understand. There was a change in when it was no longer cool or not cool to be a nerd. I definitely grew up at a time where it was just everyone's nerds now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And it's just kind of like normal for everyone to be nerdy. But there definitely was a time, like my dad says when he was younger, growing up, it's definitely something you hate a lot more because people make fun of you. Oh, you read Superman comics? That's so lame.
Yeah.
What? No,
yeah, I'd say when Iron Man came out, that's when things changed. I think Iron Man coming out and it being like, even my dad, not nerdy at all, does not understand what I do, doesn't watch my stuff, love him, but he just doesn't get it. He texted me and he's like, I saw Iron Man. It was sick, in quotes. And I was like, the world is changing. Like, the people are starting to understand that this is dope stuff. Yeah. And then everything after that, like, even my jock friends were starting to get into it. And then I was like, I want to make a career out of this. I don't care what it is. I just want to be in the industry. I don't know what it is yet. And then I'm still figuring it out now, but I'm just trying to say yes to everything while I can.
Absolutely.
So we could pretty much thank Jon Favreau, people like Jon Favreau and Kevin Smith, for making it cool to be a nerd again. Because there was definitely a time where it wasn't, but now it is. So
my dad said Jay and Silent Bob movies. Those were the Kevin Smith movies were the ones he would show people. See, it's cool to be a nerd. Here's these two guys who are nerdy.
Yeah.
Honestly, what started breaking that mold was Urkel.
Did I do that?
Urkel was like the first like really popular nerd.
That's actually I could say that. I could see
that was the first nerd I was really exposed to in my childhood. That I was like, oh, he's really cool. He's still cooler than all these like cool kids in the show. So
that whole show, the old sitcoms still get me, like, about how much they change the industry just from so far back. And we still relate back to them now. It's like there are, just in comedy, for instance, like any comedy sitcom you see now, it's like, what do you think we are? Family Matters? Like, the fact that you know the name of that show and it installs feelings of nostalgia when you hear it, the writers know that. They know that. Yeah. They know it's going to pull those heartstrings. So, what are you working on now, Colin? Other than the Peele project that we can't talk about.
Our next release is going to be Ninja Turtles found footage, which is also another big nerd out moment for me. I played Casey Jones and I wrote it. and I was on screen with like a full life-size turtle, like movie quality suits, and I was just like talking to Leo, and I had my hockey mask on, thank God, but I was smiling because I'm a big Ninja Turtle fan, and I love Leo. He's my favorite. And we're in this sewer, and I'm fighting this foot ninja, and then I turn and I talk to Leo, and I just remember being like, "Don't smile, don't smile, don't smile." And then we're in mid-production with Power Rangers Shattered Past, and this one's really special because we had Patreons pay a certain amount, like pledge, and then they get to be in the episode. So we had all these kids dressed up as ninjas in the episode. It was so cute and so fun. And then Solaris, which is our original series, it's not a fan film. We have the comic book done, and we're going to be releasing that soon. So that's really exciting. Lots of different media there. And then we're in pre-production for another found footage for Batman Beyond. So I'm really excited for that. And yeah, it's a lot of we're doing a lot at once, but it's just the reason why we do so much at once is because scheduling's so hard for everything. We can't focus on one show. So like, okay, we can't film this weekend. Let's do something like this. But our next big release is on Halloween, and it'll be Ninja Turtles found footage, and we're doing a full screening at Dave & Buster's in the movie theater room. So I'm really excited for that.
Awesome.
That
does
cool.
all sound really cool. The found footage
my
stuff
life sounds
especially.
so boring now.
It still blows my mind. I have a new, well, my girlfriend and I have been together for 3 months, and sometimes I'm like telling her about my week and what I have to do for work and stuff, and she's just like, "What is your life?"
Hold on, is she a nerd too? Are you? Or
she's getting into it. She really likes watching what I do, but she's not very nerdy. And I'm like, I kind of was freaking out about, how the theory is that all three Spider-Men are going to be in the new movie. And I'm getting really passionate about it, and she's just like, "Yeah, cool." I was like, "This is huge, the multiverse."
If it happens, it's huge.
If it happens, it's huge, and if it doesn't, it's still huge.
To her, you look like the guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia with all the strings on. But the multiverse theory is real. It's right here, and I can explain it to you.
Yeah, he's great. You don't understand filming. And she is super helpful and everything, but she just doesn't get it. She likes seeing me in a Power Ranger suit. That's not like an ask for.
Okay, well maybe find something that is she into Dungeons and Dragons? Is she into?
She loves Miyazaki films, Studio Ghibli. So
maybe you could put in some Miyazaki costumes. Maybe you need to do a fan film of some Studio Ghibli. Maybe you need to.
He looks petrified.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh yeah. You could be Howl. I can see it now. I'm trying to help you.
Orey, you had some questions about the tension.
Yes.
Talking about scheduling and how hard it is to get everything. You had some questions about that?
So with the SAG strike and everything about to happen with the studios, is that going to affect you at all?
No, I'm not SAG. I'm non-union, so we're kind of on a different path and different pay. And it was really interesting when I was on set for the Jordan Peele movie. They really just kept us separate, and we all had different rules and different pay bumps, and they were flat rate. And if my car is in a scene, I get an extra money. It was really strange and a big learning experience. A lot of my stuff has just been, I want to say YouTube or web series and stuff like that. I did one Netflix thing, Video Game High School Season 2, and I learned a lot on set there. But this Jordan Peele movie, I was there for 2 days of filming, and it was like a crash course. This guy took me under his wing and just taught me everything I need to know about extra work. And turns out that I was really lucky because there's different roles of extra work, and I got well, the story is, I don't know how real it is. The story is that Jordan Peele went through the extras and all of our headshots and reels and blah, blah, blah. If he really did, I don't know, but this is what they told me. And then he picked who he wanted for the specialty roles. And specialty roles basically means that you get more pay, more time on screen, better treatment in general, and then with a possibility, if you're specialty, you have the possibility to get moved to a speaking role, and then that changes everything. So it was really cool, and it was my first day really doing something as legit as that, and it was just amazing that I got bumped up to specialty and did 2 days of filming for him. And I would have done it for free, honestly. It was so much fun, and I just had a blast. And can I tell you guys my Jordan Peele story?
Yes, please.
So I'm a newbie, right? And they had what's called holding. So there's these different tents with AC and craft services and food, and it's just like where all the actors go. And so the set was so big that there's different holding tents. So it was like we need all specialty roles at holding tent 2, right? And I'm lost. I don't know where the hell I am, and I'm walking down in between these two trailers, and I look over, and it's just me and Jordan Peele walking next to each other, and I'm stunned. I'm just like, it's just me and Jordan. And then I was like, say something, man. And I was like, no, everyone probably bothers him. And I was like, and this is all in my head in like 1 second. I'm like, you will regret this for the rest of your life if you don't say something. And then I go, hey, Jordan, I just want to say I'm a really big fan of everything you do. And then he's like, wow, what a nice guy. I was like, I never thought I'd have you alone, so I just wanted to say that. And he's like, thank you. And I go, he goes, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I go, yeah, you too. And I walked away, and I was like, what did I just say? But I had a one-on-one moment with Jordan Peele, and he was so nice and so cool, and we were all alone. And I was just like, I'm glad I did it, but I sound like an idiot.
That's how we all are. So I also work in like movies and TV shows. So I live in New Orleans, and like this city is just littered with TV and movies being filmed. So I got to meet Keanu Reeves, like just like walking down the street, and he's just like acting like a normal person. I look over and I go, it's John Wick. And I said it out loud, and he looks at me and he goes, oh, you know who I am, and high fives me and walks away. And I was like,
that's amazing.
He's the nicest person.
Yeah, he seems like it too. I love him in interviews. There's one that's like, how do you stay so down to earth? He's like, gravity. I'm like, no answer.
He really is his character from Bill and Ted in real life. Everyone just turned him into an action hero.
Yeah. I love it when they were talking about him doing stunts in John Wick. He's like, that's me. That's not me. My knees couldn't handle it. That's me. Like, he's just so cool.
That's so cool.
He's so breathtaking.
I've never had any like real life. The closest
Comic-Con.
Well, other than, but that's a stage
when you met me
thing. Yeah, that's a stage thing though. You're supposed to meet celebrities and famous people like Orey at Comic-Cons. So, but my brother he went to SCAG out in Atlanta, and he worked on the Chris Evans project Gifted, and he was working with Chris Evans, and I found out like his scene wasn't credited after they made the movie and everything, but he was still in it. Like, he got to be a part of the process. And I asked him, I was like, so did you ever like have any times where you got to meet Chris Evans? He was like, Pete, I'm sure everyone was bothering him. And I was like, so that's a no. He's like, well, he did come to sit down and eat lunch with us a few times. I was like, you never walked up to him to talk to him? He's like, I didn't want to bug him. I was like, let me tell you something, little brother. If you ever work on a project with another Marvel Cinematic Universe actor ever again and don't get me a signature, or at least go and tell them that you said hi for me, I might only have one other.
Yes, because the automatic thing that he's going to think about is, I need to say hi for my brother. Not for myself, for my brother.
Look, he can be in the movies. I just want people to know that I tell them, hey.
You want Chris Evans to know you exist. It's fine. We know this. It's fine. You should just go meet him yourself.
I should.
I think everyone would have that same feeling, though, because I've heard other people talk about moments where they met celebrities out and about, and everyone kind of has that same line that I don't want to bug them, because I'm sure everyone does. And then when everyone does, it's usually the same line that I love what you do. You're great. Yeah. So like the celebrities always hear the same thing, and it's.
Colin? What do people say to you when they recognize you?
It's been really cool. I got like a huge discount at AT&T because they watched Reverse Flash Origins. They hooked me up on the new phone. That was cool. GameStop. I've run into weirdly enough a couple GameStops. They know who I am. There's one. And then cons are a totally different story. But like I said, I'm still in a pretty new relationship, and I've been recognized like a few times with her. So she probably thinks I'm some hot I'm not. One time,
That's
so
how
we
you meant it. You're like, yeah, you see, they know who I am. I'm famous.
No, I literally was like,
big deal.
I said this to her. I was like, get used to it, but I was just kidding. But one time, so basically, I don't know if you guys know what we are doing in the Power Rangers universe, but we're doing this thing called the Extended Universe, where we're taking real Rangers from the different real shows, putting them in our shows, and just calling it an Extended Universe. Not official or anything, but it's the first time anyone's ever done it. So it's 4 different connecting shows with real Rangers in all of them. It's a big deal to Ranger fans.
Ooh, yeah, promo time, yeah!
Hey, YouTube viewer, Bear here. Just wanted to drop in with a little bit of a promo. So, Colin was just talking about some Power Rangers projects that he has going on. One of those projects, Shattered Past, is actually going into its 5th season on YouTube. So, we got the trailer for you right here. Let's watch.
My timeline is no longer shattered. Thanks to my team. My family. Together we've traveled through time, made enemies, formed alliances. We've reached new levels of power. But even with all the good we've done, our mission still isn't complete. We fixed the past. Now it's time to save the future.
Save the future. We gotta go back. Power Rangers Shattered Past. Omega Access.
The year is 2040 and Earth is on the brink of destruction.
Wow, that was awesome. I can't wait to catch up on that show and then watch season 5. Hope you check it out too. Really thank you for watching this, and really thank Colin for being a part of this episode. We hope to have him back really soon. In the meantime, let's get back to the rest of the interview.
And one time I was a guest at a con, and I'm walking to go do a screening or a panel or something, and this Red Ranger comes up to me. He's like, "You're Collin K Bass. Can I shake your hand?" I was like, "Yeah, man, of course." I shook his hand, took a picture with him. But the best are when it's not a con and people know me. I had this guy come up to, it was some kid, I think. He was younger than me. Comes up to me at an IHOP, and he's like, "Reverse Flash. I didn't know you liked IHOP." And I was like, but cons are really fun because they do that, and I love hearing like, I love what you do. You know, and some people aren't a fan of Power Rangers, so they know Reverse Flash, or they know Character Select, or even random stuff that I forgot I did. You know, but it's been so cool to have people shout that out. And then when we do screenings, we do them at Dave & Buster's, so there's a bar there waiting for me. And when I go to the bar, lots of drinks are bought for me because I was the dude on screen. So it's really great. It's humbling. I would do this regardless of the attention, but it's really cool when people are familiar with what we do.
That does sound really cool.
I feel like I've not lived my best life now. Thanks, Colin.
Well, if you ever make it over to Jackson, Mississippi, or down in New Orleans where Orey is, to a con or any
Do we have a Dave & Buster's
like
here?
that. Yeah, there's a Dave & Buster's down in New Orleans. That would be really cool for all of us to meet up and just like game at Dave & Buster's with Colin.
Some DDR guys. Who wants to
I'll meet you at
DDR?
Time Crisis.
Yeah, there you go. Time Crisis. We'll play the Marvel Contest of Champions where we could put our favorite heroes against each other and stuff like that. That'd be really cool. I've only been inside at Dave & Buster's. I've never actually spent any time there.
I worked at Dave & Buster's for like 3 months.
Oh,
just so I could get discounts on the food. They actually have some decent chicken wings. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So
I got a nerd question for you. Growing up, what was your favorite nerdy thing? Like
Smallville. Smallville shaped who I am as a person, man. I can't tell you how bad I wanted to be Clark Kent. And I have this story, and I've met quite a few of those actors just by doing cons. Michael Rosenbaum and I got really drunk together once and sang Piano Man. It was super cool.
In the Mafia, once you joel together, you're bonded for life.
But I have this story that kind of gives you guys insight.
That blows us away alone. That blows us away alone. That's cool.
It was really cool. So we were at this after party. It was this private like bar just for the guests there. And I mean, like Deathstroke from Arrow was over there. The voice of Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist was on the piano, and Michael Rosenbaum was on the piano. And we're all in a circle drinking, and I get hit in the head with a rubber band. And I look over, and it's Lex Luthor from Smallville. And I was just like, and I'm stunned, right? I'm a huge Smallville fan. I own every season. I watched every episode. I could tell you anything about it. And I get hit by a rubber band by Lex Luthor, and he goes, "Oh, sorry, man." I was like, "Yeah, no worries." And then he goes, "All right, any requests?" And I go, "Piano Man." And they start doing Piano Man, and everyone's singing along. I had like an iPhone 4 at the time, and I'm filming. It's all grainy and but we're all singing Piano Man, and I'm looking at Michael Rosenbaum, and he like points to me, he's like, "Sing it," and then we just start singing Piano Man together. And then we just kept doing shots after. It was just so cool. And so anyways, Smallville was my big thing growing up. And the story that I tell to show you how obsessed I was. So I was in 9th grade, and I had my first real girlfriend. And I was so scared. I'd never kissed a girl, like really kissed a girl, like pecks only. And I was so scared because it was like we were gonna go to the movies, and that's where like you go and kiss. And I was my pants, and then I was like, wait, I'll watch how Clark kisses Lana, and that's how I'll kiss my girlfriend. And so I'm just watching Smallville, the kissing scenes. I'm like, okay. And then I went into my first kiss knowing because I watched Smallville's kissing scenes, and I kissed my girlfriend.
I'm doing
just like
this way Superman would.
That's how obsessed I was. I took kissing lessons from Clark and Lana. I was a weird kid.
You getting that kiss?
So CW's Crisis event was probably pretty cool for you then.
Oh my
yeah, it
God.
worked.
Cameo.
That's the best story ever.
You getting that Kent kiss, girl?
Yeah.
I'm gonna lay the Clark on you.
Oh, I should have said that. No, I confessed
It's for
after.
you now. I give this to you.
Thank you. No, after she was like, "That was your first kiss," and I was like, "Yeah, I kind of studied Smallville." We dated for a year and a half, though, so it worked.
See, nerdy stuff can teach us stuff in real life too. It's not all just like fake stuff that's science fiction. They can teach us how to solve real life problems. So, what's your favorite fandom now? Like, what gets you most excited? Like when you hear that they're coming out with a new movie, or like,
I want to say DC, but I've just been so let down lately, and. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say DC just because I loved Superman and Lois so much. Have you guys seen that show?
Yes.
I've seen most of it. I'm still behind, and I need to get back onto watching it because apparently a lot has happened since I left off.
Mm-hmm. It's really good. And right when you think it's the finale, it's not the finale. It's awesome.
My favorite Superman and Lois, or Clark and Lois, however, I can't remember the name of the show. I watch all of it.
Superman and Lois,
so,
yeah.
Well, I watch all of it, but my favorite moment from that show came from the first episode because that was when they were the most meta, and it was his son is playing Injustice as Raiden against Superman, and he walks. He's like, "You're playing as Raiden, not Superman." He's like, "Superman sucks." It's like, what is happening right now? The worlds are colliding.
Yeah.
Honestly, with DC, Doom Patrol is what's doing it for me.
Really?
It is absolutely probably the best content that DC is putting out right now.
The Suicide Squad, I think, is saving the DC universe at least.
Well, we had a theory about that, and we can run it by Colin and see what he thinks, because we've asked Orey this during conversations. So we had a theory that DC has finally decided, let's not do what Marvel did. We're not building a cinematic universe as much as we're building a shared cinematic universe where we're just going to start telling stories that may be happening in the same universe, may not be. Would you think that would be a better than what they've been doing in the past if that is true?
I'm kind of banking on the Flashpoint movie to connect it all. That's what I would.
Yes.
So, yes, I think it's a good idea because they have not done. I mean, you got to imagine if Zach stayed on the whole time, though. We could have had a really dope universe. But I think telling different stories is a good way to go, but I also like the idea of Flashpoint being like, oh, Robert Pattinson Batman. Oh, what's up, Batfleck? You know, like kind of show us the multiverse that we all know and love from DC.
Okay, I have
and we
to
know
ask
the multiverse exists in it because of the CW crossing over Ezra Miller's Flash with Grant Gustin's, which blew my tiny, simple human mind, by the way.
Yeah, that was a really great moment, and I think they should lean into it, and I really hope they do that with Flashpoint.
All right, I do have a question. Who's your favorite Batman?
Oh man, I guess
That's how I judge everybody.
It's okay. Please don't hate me. Man, I gotta go Christian Bale. I just love The Dark Knight so much.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, guys. I'm not a Keaton guy. I'm sorry.
I think Robert Pattinson has a good chance of taking my favorite spot.
Everything I've seen from Pattinson, lovely.
See,
lovely,
I'm one of those people that I always judge them on their Bruce Wayne and Batman. So, like, I have a favorite Bruce Wayne that is separate from my favorite Batman. My favorite Batman is Christian Bale, but my favorite Bruce Wayne was Keaton.
Okay.
So it's kind of, I thought George Clooney played a good Bruce Wayne, but his Batman was so bad, I couldn't.
I kind of liked Affleck's Bruce Wayne.
When they weren't trying to make him funny in the Joss Whedon Justice League, I like that Bruce Wayne. But
in
I
the
like Bruce
Snyder
Wayne.
Cut, he's great Bruce Wayne. In the
And in
Snyder
BVS, it was good. One thing that sticks out to me too about Pattinson is like we've only seen like one real trailer, right? But he has two quotes that are just so bad they'll stick with Batman's legacy already. One is the "I am vengeance," you know, like the way he delivered that. You'll always associate that. Like he could have been like, "No, I am Batman," but he chose vengeance, which is so cool. And then the one where it's like, "It's not a signal, it's a warning," or something like that.
Yes.
It's not just a signal, it's a warning. That gave me chill. I'm having chills right now just thinking that. That is such cool, simple writing, and that's such a Batman thing to say. And you're just like scared, like, oh, like. So I think Pattinson's off to a great start.
I remember when he said "I am vengeance." I was sitting in a meeting, and I was supposed to be watching, you know, what's happening around me, and I was watching the trailer when it dropped, and I just like sat my phone down, and I went yes, and everybody just turned and looked at me, and I'm like, "I am vengeance." And like showed them my phone, and we plugged it in, and we all watched the trailer. It was great. I was so happy.
Then everyone got on the hype train.
Yes.
I think Robert
I was more excited.
Also getting too much hate because the people that know who he is only know him from Twilight.
Okay.
It's like, it's not our
First
fault
of all,
that that's the only thing you've watched him in. He's a great actor. Give him a chance.
First of all, I don't hate the Twilight movies.
Me
And
neither.
while his character was my least favorite character, even when an actor is not their best in a role, it's not always their fault. I think for what they wanted Edward to be in that show, Edward, right? I'm not.
Colin, yeah.
Okay.
Colin. It's okay.
He played it to the T. He was the creepy vampire.
Okay, as the girl watching that, I was very impressed.
See, there you go.
I like
So,
it too. All the Twilight.
The only reason why people hate it
like-
is because it's
the
a movie
Twilight
that was
movies,
more directed towards women. They didn't want it. It was cool to hate on it, and now they hate on him for it.
They're hating on him as being
But
Batman
he has
because
such a
that's
great-
all they know him as, and that's the problem. You know him as the teenage heartthrob from the Twilight movies, and you don't think that a chick flick guy should be Batman, but
It's been
what you
years
don't
since that
know
movie.
is
First of
go
all,
look at his IMDb. He has been in a lot of
He's
stuff.
been a
been some
gangster.
great
He's
characters.
been a zombie. He's been so many different things, and he's
he's
moved
going to
on
be an
from that.
amazing Batman.
I'm trying to get excited about the new Flash stuff. I want to be so excited, but DC keeps disappointing me. It's like a bad relationship at this
The
point.
Suicide Squad movie was good.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with having
Their
Harley.
animated universe is great.
Their comic book is
I think Ezra Miller is a really good Flash. The only complaint I had with that Flash is the blue lightning, and that's because the color of the lightning matters. You can't just throw in any color of lightning. It matters.
Colin, did y'all get your lightning color right when you did Reverse Flash Origins?
You know it, dude. We dove into the negative Speed Force. I went into the negative Speed Force, and it was a lot of fun to write. But oh yeah, I had red lightning. We did Wally with yellowish lightning and Barry with goldish lightning. So we were very picky, and
there you go.
It was fun as the show was, explaining the different lightnings and stuff. Oh, and Zoom. We had Zoom. What color is Zoom?
Yeah.
See blue lightning?
Bluish black. Yeah.
So we had a lot of speedsters, and I was very picky about that lightning.
So where before we kind of wrap this up, where can our viewers and listeners and Orey's viewers and listeners find all of your works? Because like you said, they're not like big corporation stuff. So where can we find those?
Well, I think the best place that I'm most active on is my Instagram at Collin K Bass. But Nerdbot Studios is the main YouTube, but our biggest show, Power Rangers Shattered Past, is on Crimson Vision Studios, and that's interesting story. That's just a YouTube channel that me and my buddy started on our own, and then when we were starting to do Power Rangers stuff, we didn't know where to put it, so we put it on our old YouTube that had like no followers. And then during COVID, Nerdbot absorbed Crimson Vision, so now we're under like one blanket together. But most of our shows is on Nerdbot. The one biggest show is on Crimson Vision Studios, to answer a long-winded question.
So if you're watching this on YouTube, go and like drop us down in the little mini window and go ahead and go follow those channels. And if you're listening to this, the links will be in the episode description as always, so you can go and check out those. And Colin, if you'll send us those, we will definitely get those linked. And we really appreciate it. Guys, do y'all have any more questions for our awesome interview guest today?
I got nothing.
I'm out. It's been a great chat.
I want to put myself in the bad corner for a second. I lost interest in Power Rangers at some age. I don't know what age it was. I know at one point I really liked Power Rangers, and then now I don't know anything. Even from the time that I liked it, I don't remember anything.
No, my story with Power Rangers is really weird. I liked it in '93, got over it, and then I would just randomly check in once. I mean, there's still superheroes to me, so I'd still check in each season, see what's going on. And I never wanted to do anything Power Rangers. I just kind of like, yeah, that's cool, childhood. And I casually know, just like you casually know about superheroes, but you never like dove in. And then I was a guest I was invited to go to Morphicon, which is a Power Rangers based convention. So again, I know about Power Rangers, but it's not like I've seen every episode. Like the way my DC knowledge and Power Rangers is here. Then I went to this con, and everyone was so nice and so welcoming. And I was like, I'm gonna sit in on the fan film panel because I do Reverse Flash, and we just done Ninja Turtles, so I'm like full '90s mode, right? And I sit down and I watch these fan films, and I just got so inspired. And I was just like, I want to do this, but I don't want to do the Tights and Rubber Monsters. I want to do the ninja season where they have elements like Avatar and, lean into the ninjas and elements, and then with a little bit of Power Rangers dashed in, because they never told that story. So literally I'm at the con, I start writing ideas down about what I want to do, and then we're at this hotel party after, and I kind of have a basis of what I want to call it, what it's going to be. This is all in just a span of hours. I'm in this room, there's people dressed as Power Rangers, and it gets kind of quiet, and I was like, guys, can I pitch an idea to you? And they're like, yeah, sure. And I don't know these people. I knew like one person there. And I was like, what if I did a series that's a prequel to Ninja Storm, and we focus on the elements and the ninjas and then how they became the Rangers? And everyone's like, yeah, I love it. And then we did First Ninja. That led us to working with real Rangers. And now I'm 4 series deep on Power Rangers. So it was never my intention. And now I'm like, I know way too much because I write the story, so I dive really deep into episodes and wikis and stuff. But I'm right there with you, man. I was not like well versed in Power Rangers until I was super motivated by Power Rangers Unworthy, which is this like R-rated Power Rangers fan-made series. And I just got so inspired, and then now I'm like I'm in Ranger suits like every weekend. Like I'm in tights all the time. It's crazy how life works like that. But I was really just super inspired. The people were amazing, and Power Rangers Unworthy just lit that fire into and I really wanted to dive into it. And now I'm like really good friends with the people I used to watch on TV. So it's super crazy, and I'm just really grateful for all the opportunities Power Rangers have brought me. That's how they found me for the Jordan Peele movie. They're like, we recognize you from Power Rangers Shattered Past when you sent out, your reel and everything. So it's just crazy how the world works like that.
That is really cool.
I got one last question. Since this episode is going to be titled Headaches of Hollywood, and we haven't talked about too much headaches,
No,
here's a headache question. Here's a headache question for what is the most complicated, most annoying suit you've had to get into?
Ooh, that's a good. There are a lot of pieces to my Red Wind Ranger. So when I'm the Red Ranger, I'm the Red Ranger in two seasons, and then I'm a White Ranger in a different one. But again, there's like 30 seasons, so I'm not going to pretend I'm like the main Red Ranger.
Right.
But my Red Ranger suit, if I had to count all the pieces that I need, it's got to be like 16 pieces, all different things. And then on top of it all, I have to remember to wear this magnetic strap under my Under Armour, but not over my ninjas. It's super weird where it has to go, and it's the magnetic holding for my sword on my back. So if I don't bring that, there's no way my sword will hold. So like on top, say I got all ready, and I was like, forgot my magnetic strap, and I had to take it, put it back on. And so it's just there's so many pieces, and man, those helmets. That is the headache of Hollywood for me. Those helmets drive me insane, and I'm there trying to like act and be bad. And I'm like, I can't breathe.
That's so funny that you say that because Jason David Frank, I was watching his live the other day and he was just talking about that. He's like, these masks, like these helmets are not made to be worn for long periods of time and act in, and we can't breathe. And he's like, and the newer, like the old ones, they had the clasps. We could get them on and off really easy, 2 pieces. Now they just want to like suction cup it on your head. Then you got to like dig in here and get past any facial hair you got and like hit this little clasp. And if you don't hit it right, you're struggling and you're cutting off your.
Oh my gosh!
I was like, yeah, that's
mine both have clasps, thank God. But another thing on top of it is I'm constantly like flexing and sucking in, right? So I look good as a ranger. So I'm like sucking in my gut, flexing, and then I have no air in here. I'm like, like it's just. My director.
But that's a good ab workout, right?
Oh yeah, the next day I'm dead. I'm like, do I get abs yet? But my director's so funny because he'll go like, okay, like just casually. I like beer. I like to drink, right? But I always like fast and work out really hard before we film. So I'm just starving and dehydrated, blah, blah, blah. But Sean, my good friend and director, he'll be like, all right, 3, 2, 1, suck in and action. That's how we do every scene. And I'm like,
that is so great.
It sucks.
Oh, this is like cosplay.
Wait, we got to do that take again. We forgot to remind y'all to suck in.
That's true. Like, I'll need to watch playback on that. Did I suck in enough?
I can see the tacos you had earlier. Suck it in more.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's true. But it's worth it. Like when we filmed with all the little kids that were our Patreons, and they're my little ninja kids. The last thing I want them is to be like, "Yeah, there's this fat Power Ranger that's bossing me around." So I was like, "Sean, let me know, man. I gotta look good for the kids." So, but that's so a headache of Hollywood. The helmet is and sucking in for hours.
Yeah. Well, Colin, we really appreciate you being on with us. We'll get this. I'll get it edited, and we'll let you know when it's going to come out and everything. And if you'll send me all your links, hey, send me your reel too. We'll put your reel in here somewhere just for our YouTube viewers, so that they can see what Peele's people saw. And hey, never know, might get you another gig. Never know.
You really never know.
So,
yeah.
And hey, if you ever need some podcasters that can film some stuff over Skype, like for like a bit y'all are doing, we got you. Like,
yeah.
Let us know. Well, like you said, we'll do it for free. We don't need it.
Let's just all hang out at Dave and Buster's. That's where we'll do it.
Yeah, just down south.
Send me the invite.
You know,
that's the beauty of found footage is we can do stuff like this. Like the Ninja Turtles one is literally it's an April O'Neil like news report. So like found footage allows us to have podcasters and stuff. So I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Definitely appreciate you being here. Appreciate the lookout for that. And y'all can find, as he said, you can find all of his projects on YouTube. If you're not already subscribed, hey, here's your second reminder. Go and subscribe to those 2 channels. Go and find Orey also on YouTube, Voice of Geeky Vengeance podcast. And in the meantime, I guess we're going to get out of here. I've been the Bear.
I've been the Beard.
I've been the Babe.
And we want to remind you, as always, to stay awesome,
stay bearded, and much love.
And nerdy. Yeah, Orey forgot our nerdy.
And nerdy.
Nerdy. Yeah, and much love, guys. We will see y'all the next regular episode. Thank you, Colin, and we'll see you next time. So then we are out of here. And as promised for all you YouTube viewers, here's Colin's actor reel.
I think we need to have a talk, Barry. I've seen what you can do firsthand. That wasn't me. It will be. So you're giving up on me. Just like that. We're supposed to be partners. Friends. You're a murderer. You know, Barry, all I've ever wanted was to be just like you. But you are weak. You choose your closed-minded morals over innocent lives. You made me spare Zoom. And I told you the next time he killed that their blood would be on your hands. Guess what, Barry? That blood was Jane's.
Ben, stop! You don't get it, Ethan. All that matters now is survival. And the only way to survive is by gaining more power.
At what cost? The cosmics aren't there to just be added to your collection. They're people. They deserve to live.
It's either them or me. And I choose me. You're lucky. You're one of a kind. The almighty Solaris, right? That's what they call you now?
Listen, I'm still me. I don't want to fight you.
Well, then you're gonna burn!
I'm sorry it has to be this way. How?
I'm starting a school. I call it the Wind Ninja Academy. But all elements are welcome.
Well, tell me about the school. Do we get cool ninja suits like yours? How many elementals are there? How many students do you have?
I would say that we're still in the beginning stages of starting the school.
So, you don't really have a school or students yet, do you?
No. I actually just thought of this last week. But I did figure out the uniforms.
Overwatch. I had to fight through half of Hell's Kitchen, but I think I found him.
Oliver, be careful. We don't know what you could be facing, and your supplies are low.
I have enough arrows to get the job done, but I need to go radio silent. Green arrow out.
You're a long way from home, Robin Hood.
Oh, I get it. The Devil of Hell's Kitchen. It's cute.
Hope you didn't come all this way to rob from the rich, give to the poor. Hell's Kitchen is under my protection.
Really? Because based off of what I've seen tonight, you failed this city!
Yeah. That's not gonna work with me.
Miss.
Boom, cut the check.
All right, all right, all right.
That's another episode done. We hope you enjoyed it. New episodes are released every other Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Check back then or subscribe so that your device downloads it automatically. Audio episodes are now available pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts, so it's really easy to share them with all your nerdy friends. For YouTube viewers, subscribe and click that little bell so you're notified about all our new content. And Apple users, please don't forget to rate and review on the app. Rating and reviewing helps more nerds find us. Now it's time to thank the rest of the Bearded Bear team, head researcher and graphic designer, Mama Bear, Master of Marketing, Han Bralo, and all of our other geeks of the round table and friends of the cast. Thank you all so much. And lastly, for more music like this awesome new outro track, go follow Secret Apex on Facebook and Spotify. Links in the description. Talk at you next episode, nerds. See you then.
I'd like to know if you're a friend or an enemy. If so, stay away from around me. Welcome to the end. Are you a fan or just pretend? I'd like to know if you're a friend or an enemy. If so, stay away from around me. Welcome to the end. Are you a fan or just pretend? I'd like to know if you're